So, despite what we might think sometimes on this human journey, there is a lot happening behind the scenes that we can't see with our physical eyes. And this is why a lot of my messaging has always been around trusting the path that you're on and knowing that even if you can't see something, there is a lot more going on above and beyond your human mind and what it can comprehend at the moment. So, I was thinking this morning around back in sort of 2012, 2013, when I was at the worst stage of my illness. And I'd got myself incredibly ill with ME, chronic fatigue. And, I'd got so bad, I couldn't work anymore. I had to stop my legal career. And basically everything I knew on the outside had just fallen away. And I was sitting there, and I was thinking about this morning. I was sitting in my home one afternoon, and I had reached this point of being so down and desperate. The place was so dark inside of me, and I hadn't realized that there was a way out. And I'd felt so useless because what had happened, I'd lost my energy through this illness. I'd lost my career. I was very much housebound and I couldn't do the basics. There was a time when I couldn't get up, I couldn't walk, I couldn't make food, I couldn't do the basic stuff. Holding a phone to my ear was incredibly difficult with the lack of energy and the symptoms and the pain. And I'd been in this state for quite a while. And at the time, because I hadn't had any sense of my own value, everything came externally. So I was sort of sitting in the thick of it, really hating myself, hating my existence. And I had this one particular moment where I really, really did contemplate wanting to continue, not being here anymore. And I really, really sat with it. It was very quiet. It was a very dark time. In the middle of that, so there's a whole story around that. I won't go into it in this live stream, or in this video, but in the middle of that, it was in that moment where something came in that was bigger than me. And it was this voice. I didn't know what it was at the time, but it was this voice that came through. And it was very, very clear. And it said, you are here for a reason. And it wasn't just the idea of it. It hit me so much in my soul, in my heart. And I felt it. I felt the energies. It was enough just to jolt me out of making a plan even further that afternoon. And it was enough just to, I think it activated me or something. I didn't know at the time. Looking back now, with me channeling and understanding the energies, it was very much an activation. And so it was just enough. It just was enough for me to pull myself out in a few moments. I didn't go from that to suddenly loving my life. What it did do was it got me to make just a very small move. And so that afternoon, after hearing that, receiving that activation, those words, and I could feel the truth of the fact that I was here for a reason. I don't know why. I don't know what the point of this suffering is. I don't know how I'm going to do anything from this state. I can barely move. And, it went on for a few years, but it was just enough. And so what I did is I went on the internet and I tried to search for something to help me with this illness to recover. I'd done this search so many times I never found anything, and I'd given up. So that particular afternoon I went online and I Googled, and that's when I suddenly, out of nowhere, out of the blue, found this clinic that were talking about recovery. They were talking about not just managing symptoms and, just making peace with this crappy existence. They were talking about recovery. People had actually recovered. And so that was what tipped me into finding the exact thing that I needed that I couldn't have found any other day. And from there, I found the clinic. It led me onto this massive part of my journey where I entered their program. I did a long, hard recovery program, which took me, a few years to kind of recover. And I ended up doing the training. Anyway, everything I did then led me into leaving my legal career, stepping into this training and doing everything I do now. And so when I look back on it, it was such a blessing. It was such a gift. And it reminds me to this day that you are always being guided. You're always being led on your path. Things will come to you, even in your moment of despair, even if you least expect it. We are divinely supported. We have energies and love around us. I've just come off a starseed activation session with a client just now. And again, getting that reminder, just how much each of us have an entire team around us. We are not alone. We're not doing this alone. And we are getting guidance. We are getting supported. So I just really wanted to just share that with you. let it land where it needs to land. But no matter what it is you're focusing on now, whether it's your life, your personal life, your business, your mission in some way, you're not really sure how you're going to get from here to there. You're not really sure if you can get from here to there. It's never, ever hopeless. And there is always a way. And I want to just remind you, and this is at the core of all of my business and my mission, it's reminding you of who you are and that you are very much here for a specific purpose. As you already know this, but sometimes you will have days where you forget, or you have days and moments where maybe you don't feel so significant. You feel that, are you really making a difference? Are you really helping this planet shift? Are you really doing it? Yes, you are, with your very presence. There's always more we can step into, of course, but know that you are being divinely guided. We forget that we're doing it, with a co-creation of our teams. You listening to this, you have an entire team around you, whether you know it, whether you don't know it. If you don't know it, come and have a starseed activation session with me and you'll very much know it by the end. If you do know it and you want to go further, then you can go further. But remembering that, this planet is not what we've been taught. There's so much more beyond the physical, as you know, if you're tuning into any of my messages. But it's just a reminder, reminding you, and you can feel this energy of how powerful you are. You are here on a mission. You are being guided. You are being supported. Things will come your way when you least expect it. You will find the next piece, the next thing to help you if you just stay the course. And luckily for me, I had that intervention and it was just enough. It was just enough. It didn't get me out of this hole that I was in immediately, but it was just, here's the other thing. You'll just be given just enough so that you can be assisted, because we've still got to do the work ourselves. We've still got to do the actual healing, growing, clearing, activating, whatever it is. We still have to do that, but we sometimes we get that just enough energy, right? So I wanted to share that with you. So I send you so much love wherever you are right now, whatever you're feeling today. There's a lot of energies, there's a lot of things happening. So remember to look after yourself. And I'll be here very soon on this page. All right, take care.